students, welcome to lesson 5 of the Be Your Own IT free computer training program. This lesson is going to be stepping up on the complexity a little bit for some of you. Others of you, this will be a refresher. But this is about information on how to load a fresh copy of Windows. There's a lot of different scenarios when you have to reinstall Windows, and I kind of broke it down into either you're loading it on a brand new computer, you're reinstalling Windows on a system that has crashed, or you're loading a fresh copy on a crashed system. So that's kind of the worst scenario when you're loading it on a crashed system, because oftentimes you're unable to recover files and it can get kind of messy. So to break it down, when you load it on a new computer, this is about the easiest install of your life. If it's XP or Vista, almost everything, well, I should say with XP, it's extremely smooth. If it's a newer computer and it's on Vista, it's pretty smooth. You just run this, if you'll boot to CD, so a lot of times you have to pop the Windows CD in your computer and restart the computer. So turn it all the way off, then turn it back on, and it should give you the option to boot from CD. And you'll see something that says press any key to run setup. If it doesn't give that option to you and it goes straight into Windows, or it crashes or whatever, you'll need to go into the BIOS, which you can do by, when you first start on your computer, you can usually get into it by pressing delete. It'll say press usually delete or F2 to enter setup. And then you want to look for boot order. And you want to make sure that CD-ROM is the first thing. And on a fresh new system, I usually actually set it to CD-ROM and don't even put hard drive in there. Because you can change it later. Sometimes it's annoying and it gets stuck up a little bit. But with XP, with 98, it used to be 98, 95, Millennium, 2000, all the previous operating systems used to really have to have all your drivers ready and have all your CDs ready, because you wouldn't be able to do anything once you've installed Windows. But now with XP and Vista, typically everything gets automatically installed, at least a beta edition of the driver. And in most cases, unless you have an aftermarket video card like an ATI or an NVIDIA video card, they're probably two of the most common. A lot of times, maybe network cards or wireless cards, it may not have drivers for. For most everything else, it always will. And drivers are what the computer needs. It's software that the computer uses to run the hardware. So if you have a video card, it needs to know how to use it, and that's what the driver's all about, is the software. If it's on a crash system, this can be trickier because there's a lot of options, right? So you might just have Windows, your Windows has crashed, and so once you run the setup, you can get the option to actually, if you choose to install it in the same directory, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you're running through the install, it'll give you the option to delete current Windows installation and install fresh. And if a repair doesn't work, this is probably the next best thing, because yes, you'll have to reinstall all your programs because it blows away the registry. All your files are still there. So you can delete existing Windows installation and install a fresh one through the Windows setup, and you don't have to worry about backing up your files or anything weird like that. Not all of us have extra computers around, but the other alternative is taking your hard drive out, connecting it to a different computer, backing up all your files, and then putting it back in your computer and doing a fresh copy of Windows. So reinstalling Windows on a crash system is more, the process information provided here is more so for people who don't have an extra hard drive laying around who can't do it. So you can do, if it's a virus or a spyware issue, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll delete the current installation and get Windows reinstalled, back up what I need to do, or back up what I need to back up, and then format the system just to give it a clean start. It's a little bit longer, but it's safer. And you make sure that you don't have any virus problems or anything like that. And then when it comes to loading a fresh copy of Windows on a crash system, pretty basic here, just like loading a fresh copy of Windows on a new computer. Sometimes you just have to cut bait and wipe the computer clean. The one silver lining is that at least your computer will be back at its top performing levels, be performing like the day you got it, or sometimes even better. you know, sometimes when you're just at a total loss and that situation is no good, but it's the best that you have to just make the best of it and reload a fresh copy of Windows. Situations where this happens is where your computer is totally infected with viruses and you can't even run the Windows repair or you can't even delete the existing Windows installation. And I should mention a good candidate for this. Two other good candidates for this is if you don't care. If you don't have any files, I would always recommend doing a fresh copy because why keep all that other garbage on your computer if you don't need it? So if you don't have anything you need backed up and you have all your CDs and you have everything you need, um, just put a fresh copy on rather than deleting current Windows installation. Um, and also, at least from my standpoint, I like to reload a fresh copy of Windows twice a year. That's probably more than the average person needs to do it. Sometimes I do it more than that. But I like to just get a clean slate. Now, obviously, I have the capacity to easily back everything up